Alright, what's going on everybody? So the summer Steam sale is currently going on now until July 11th. So in this video, I want to highlight some of the games I think are worth checking out. I'll mainly be focusing on JRPGs and anime games. With that introduction out of the way, let's get started. So first up, Bandai Namco's having their big summer sale, and several of the Dragon Ball Z games are on sale for up to 84% off. Right now, you can get the standard edition of Dragon Ball FighterZ for just $10, or the FighterZ edition that includes just Season 1 for just $14. There's also the Legendary edition for just $44, which includes all 3 season passes, Lab Coat Android 21, and commentator packs. This is an awesome 2.5D fighter for fans of tag fighters like Marvel vs. Capcom. If you're looking for a game to hold you until Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, maybe give Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 a shot. The special edition is on sale for just $30 and includes multiple DLC packs and the Super Season Pass. I remember giving them a lot of flack when this game first came out for just being Xenoverse 1.5, but I gotta give them credit for supporting this game for almost a decade. If you ever wanted to create your own character in the Dragon Ball Z world, then I highly suggest checking this game out. The final DBZ game I wanted to highlight is Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. While it isn't as good as Legacy of Goku or Boo's Fury, this is the closest you're going to get to a Dragon Ball Z RPG nowadays. The standard edition is just $15, while the Legendary edition is $40 and includes both season passes. While the base game only covers the Sand Saga up to the end of Z, the DLC has some super content as well as some stuff related to Bardock. The last Akira Toriyama related game I wanted to highlight is Sandland. This game came out a couple months ago and it's already $40. For an extra $7 you can get the deluxe edition, which includes some bonus customization sets and the Speed Demon pack. While the melee combat and the stealth sections of this game look pretty weak, the game has been praised for its vehicular combat and customization. I remember one reviewer comparing this to Mad Max, so if you like that game, you might like Sandland. And of course, it has the late Akira Toriyama's great art style. Moving on from Akira Toriyama related stuff, next up is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle R. This was a remake of the 2014 game that expanded the roster and added in a few different mechanics. You can get the base game for just $14 or the Digital Ultimate Edition for $34, which includes both season passes. I'm a big fan of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but I did not like this game at all. But apparently I'm in the minority because a lot of people seem to have liked it. It had a pretty sizable roster, but no story mode, which really disappointed me. Aside from that, the graphics were outdated, and the game just felt too sluggish. Like it takes way too long for your character to stand back up off the ground. That issue, along with the absence of a proper story campaign, and an English dub turned me off to the game. My personal gripes aside, you might actually find yourself enjoying this one. I do suggest trying out the demo first before buying it. This next one I highly recommend for fans of anime arena brawlers. My Hero One's Justice 2. The base game is just $6 while the Ultimate Edition is $20 and includes both season passes. This is the best modern arena fighter in terms of gameplay. It may be unpolished in certain areas, but there is some depth to its battle system. The game has a large roster of almost 50 characters and tons of customization options. The only major downsides that I can think of is that the story mode is kinda average and the AI kinda sucks. If you like anime brawlers and for some reason you haven't tried this yet, I highly suggest trying this game out. While I'm on the subject of arena fighters, I guess I should mention that Storm Connections is on sale for $35. Do not, I repeat, do not buy that game at that price. Or you can, I mean it's your money, but I highly advise that you don't. The smartest thing for you to do is to buy the Storm Legacy Bundle, which includes all 4 Ninja Storm games for just $25. That will at least save you $10. Storm Connections doesn't have all the content fans thought they were gonna get based off of how the game was advertised. There were other issues like the AI voice acting and the way history mode was handled that brought down the game despite some improvements to the battle system. So yeah, don't buy Connections, buy the Legacy Legacy Bundle instead. Honestly, if you're a fan of CyberConnect 2's Arena Fighters, you're better off getting Demon Slayer: The Hinokami Chronicles. This game may have less content and the gameplay is much slower, but it has much better mechanics and character balancing. Moving on from Arena Fighters, if you're into monster battlers, Digimon Cybersleuth Complete Edition might be right for you. It's only $10 and includes both the original game and the sequel, Hacker's Memory. I don't want to start up the old Pokemon versus Digimon debate, but these games are much better than the most recent Pokemon entries. The Cybersleuth games are great turn-based RPGs that I highly recommend for anyone that's not satisfied with the current state of the Pokemon franchise and wants something that isn't super easy and more polished. Next up is Code Vein, a vampire-themed anime Souls clone. The game is on sale for as low as $9 for the standard edition, or just $14 for the deluxe edition, which includes the season pass and some accessories. This was a pretty competent Souls-style game with a forgettable story and robust character customization. Another action JRPG that's worth checking out is Scarlet Nexus. This was my game of the year for 2021 and for good reason. It had a really interesting story and good characters that are fleshed out through side activities called bond episodes. Also, the combat is very fun, although it might take some time to get used to, given that the game introduces a lot of different mechanics. Scarlet Nexus is very cheap right now, with the standard edition being only $10 and the digital deluxe edition only being $15, which includes the digital art book, soundtrack, and plugins. That said, you're better off getting the ultimate edition for just $20, which comes with the season pass content. Before I move on to the next game, it's worth mentioning that you can buy Scarlet Nexus in a bundle with either Tales of Arise or Code Vein for $16 or $26 respectively. Moving on, if you're a fan of One Piece, I highly suggest checking out Unlimited World Red. This is an action-adventure game with an original story and features some content up to the Dressrosa arc. I think this game is severely underrated compared to the other One Piece games. It's one of the very few good ones we've gotten over the past decade. You can get this game right now for just $5, which includes all of the DLC content. If I remember correctly, this was a very long game. There are other One Piece games on sale right now too, but I wouldn't recommend them even at their current price point. Next up is GranBlue ReLink, my current pick for JRPG of the year. This game came out at the end of January and is now just $42 for the standard edition. The special edition, which comes with a bunch of in-game items and color packs, has been reduced from $80 to just $56. This is a fantastic action JRPG with a sizable roster of characters, fun combat, and a great single-player campaign. I highly recommend this one for people who enjoy min-maxing their characters and grinding materials to get better equipment, as you'll be doing that a lot during the post-game. Another great action JRPG I highly recommend checking out is NieR Automata Game of the Yorha Edition. With the new season of the anime premiering soon, now's the perfect time to try this out if you haven't, or revisit it if you played it before. You'll be getting a lot of content for just $16. NieR Automata is a very long game with a lot of replayability. If I remember correctly, the game has about 26 endings and will take you roughly 60 hours to get everything. It's got a weird, beautiful, thought-provoking, and exciting story, solid combat, and a truly amazing soundtrack. Before I move on to the final game, it's worth mentioning that the prequel NieR Replicant is also on sale for just $24. NieR Replicant is a remake of the first game that a lot of people didn't play when it first came out. The final game that I wanted to highlight for you guys today is Infinity Strash Dragon Quest: The Adventure of Dai. I thought this was a pretty decent action game, although the reception online has been kinda mixed. mixed. I played a lot of Dragon Quest games growing up, but I've never watched the anime or read the manga that this thing is based off of. That said, I thought the game did a decent job of making me feel like I'm watching the show, and that's mainly due to how they told the story. The game has some pretty good looking cinematics and decent combat with a couple notable flaws. I totally recommend giving this a shot even if you've never seen the anime. And there you have it, those are the games I wanted to highlight for the Steam Summer Sale. If there were any good sales I didn't touch on, post them down below so that others can be aware of them. With that being said, thanks for watching.